I did a prediction a year ago about what was going to happen with this virus and the kinds of people that were going to emerge. That's played out pretty accurately over the last year, and we're entering into the second year now, so that prediction still stands. But I'm going to update it now with using the same oracle that I did last year, and we're going to look at what's about to happen in the second year of all of this. Good morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. I am Lucky Lynx. So I consulted the gods last year with Tibetan Mo first. I'm going to do the same thing now. There's something that I'd like to say before I begin. One of the things that I've noticed, and I told you guys a year ago, pay attention, very close attention to what emerges and what comes to light over this year and what this situation shows you about humanity, humans, what's going on, what our beliefs are. One of the things that I've noticed very clearly is that over the last year, there seems to be a great deal of forgetting that other people are human beings. Everything seems to be divided into opinions, debates, who's right, who's wrong, who is actually talking about healing people, who is actually talking about treating people with respect. Now, I've had people jump on me over the last year, not a lot. I'm usually pretty good at sidestepping these kinds of arguments because I don't like to get political. But I've had people from opposing political viewpoints all accuse me of being the opposite political whatever it was. Make no mistake, I am taking no political stance here. My loyalty is to the Tibetan Bon way, which is much bigger than the law of man. It is about the law of heaven and the law of earth and how to move oneself from a place where there's suffering to become a being who is enlightened. That has always been my stance on this station and in my videos. But I had people blow up at me. I've had people accuse me of things that I didn't believe. And I watch both of these political viewpoints that people are being divided into, and it usually is a case of one or the other. Both of them, I believe, are wrong. No one is considering how to heal people. No one is considering how do you cure a human being's dumpster fire. And no one is talking to each other with compassion in either of these camps that seem to be dividing. And they seem to be happening all over the world, that different countries are being divided into opposing viewpoints that are then set against each other. I suggested that something like that was going to happen, that people would be profiting from it in several of my videos over the last year about this. But one thing I'm noticing is that people are, especially with people being at a distance from each other and people interacting with each other online, people are forgetting that they are talking to a human being, not an electronic blip, not a television. There's a human being. People are so busy arguing for their side of the picture being right that they're forgetting there's a human being on the other side. And people are using what's going on. And this is one of the biggest things I've noticed over the last year. People are using what's going on as an excuse to show naked aggression to other people, to show their dislike for humans and humanity openly, to treat each other with disrespect. I've seen and have experienced people use the current climate of what's going on with this virus to treat each other horribly under the excuse that, well, I'm concerned for humans. If you were concerned for humans, you would be concerned about treating them kindly. You would be concerned about talking to them as if they're a human being, not someone who's beneath you, and you would not be using what's going on as an excuse to take your anger, your aggression, your hate, and your pride out on other people. And I'm not taking one political side or the other, because as I look at both of the political sides, I see exactly the same thing. I see people operating from pride. I see people talking down to each other. I see people dismissing each other. People are not trying to actually heal. They are not trying to actually put out their dumpster fires. They are, what the gods have said here, adding butter to the burning flame. They are using this as gasoline to put on whatever dumpster fire they had and indulge their bad habits, instead of actually working to become something that is extraordinary. I've seen a lot of people using mediocrity as an excuse for excellence, and claiming that which was mediocre makes them excellence. Oh, the best I have to do now is just get by. We never have that as an excuse. We're human beings. We are capable of so much more. And as we move into the second year here now of something that was at least 10 years by an old Tibetan bond prophecy, I'm going to suggest to people that if you start to say, the best I can do is get by, you should aim for something more. Aim bigger, because we as human beings have a lot more potential. And in the reading that I did last year, I suggested that people were going to start to not realize how much power they have. Well, it's very true. I see a lot of people settling and saying, well, yeah, I know my life's on fire, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Well, when you choose to not take care of your dumpster fire, which is what we human beings are in a place of right now, our lives are like dumpster fires. When we choose not to take care of those and not to heal them, everyone around us suffers. So I'm going to throw the same oracle. This is a kid's card oracle that or card game that I turned into an oracle a couple years ago. And I'm going to use the same thing to say what's about to emerge now in the second year. And I'm going to link that other video to this one so you can go back and look at what was going on last year, because that's still moving. I said that was going to be for a couple, maybe 2-3 years, maybe a little longer. What we got here is the Jaguar. People are getting ready to pounce. There is a situation here where people are going to be blindsided by something that they did not see coming, and they're going to realize that they have been put in a position where someone is going to take, or a group of people are going to take advantage of them, and it will be too late for them to see, because the warning was last year. It's like, pay close attention. If you've been paying close attention, you can see from the types of people that were emerging who was likely to benefit. And we did see a lot of people benefit from this last year. A lot of very wealthy people got much more wealthy, while people were busy fighting each other and reducing each other to an image on an electronic screen, instead of remembering that there's a human being there. And again, are we talking about healing, or are we talking about something else? People are being maneuvered into a position where something is going to take advantage of them. A group of people are going to take advantage of them and pounce. And they're going to realize that there was a trap sprung way too late. There are going to be a group of people who decide that they're going to educate themselves and learn more, and really choose to learn new things. And as they do that, they're going to start to realize that there is much more available to them than they thought, that they could excel in ways that they didn't know before, because they have a curiosity, a desire to learn, and they can take those new things that they learn and they can really choose to benefit from them. I think people are also going to start to question, what is really wisdom? Have we been sold wisdom by the religions of the world, by the political ideologies of the world, by the schools of the world? Or have we been sold something that really limits us and just puts oil on our dumpster fire and makes it grow? So the theme of this video is, you got a dumpster fire. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to continue to put fire on it, or are you going to do something to actually put it out and turn it into something that is much more beautiful and much more profound, that we as human beings have the potential to become? The next one is the cougar. Now this works in tandem with the jaguar. There's a group of people who are going to emerge who are likely to say, we're here to protect you. We're going to protect you. We'll take care of you. We'll give you everything you need. My suggestion is, don't trust it, because I don't believe that you will be happy with what the outcome is. If someone says, I'm going to do it all for you, be very, very careful. The owl is wise enough to see, and those who are taking advantage and those who are merging here are going, you know what? I can do much more than I ever thought I did. They are going to learn how to become more self-reliant, while those people who last year, I believe they fell into the walrus category, if you look at that video, they're about to find out that those people that they thought were going to protect them are not necessarily what they thought they were. There is going to be a group of people who emerges very angry and who are going to try to defend themselves and what they feel is being stolen from them or what is taken from them, and that is going to create fierce and violent opposition, and we are going to see violence outbreak. In the middle of it all, there is going to be a surprise for some people. A group of people are going to emerge more free than they have ever been before. These people are going to find that what they thought at first was a curse turns into an immeasurable blessing, and they are going to receive a great deal of wealth and joy and happiness that they went down the road that they did. These are people who decided that they did want to start to look at what the source of their dumpster fire was, and there is a great, profound, huge surprise that is waiting for them. I'm going to do another one here. There are going to be those who are just trying to get by and try not to make waves. They are feeling that they don't have it in them to fight other people. They just want to be left alone. It feels like these people, their vital energy is very, very low, and what gives them their vital energy is very, very low. And these people are going to need some help, because if they just go along thinking that if I just go along, I'll be left alone, no one will bother me, they're going to find that they end up in a net where what they thought they could have by not making waves is really challenged. And they're going to have to ask themselves, what does it mean to really be a human being? Do I just go along to get along, or what do I stand for? So there is a huge number of people this year who are going to have to face, and over the next couple of years, what do I stand for and what have I stood for? And I think there's going to be a lot of shame that arises. And before people start talking about shame being a bad thing, I'm going to say that Mencius said that one of the things that's the beginning of rightness and the beginning of humanity is shame. Realizing that you could have done something to make a difference and you didn't puts you in a position of going, wait a minute, I am worth more. I do have more in me. I can treat humans better. I can become something bigger. I can stand for something, and I should stand for something. And there's a lot of people who are going to emerge, and those people actually could start to emerge in maybe this category or maybe this category. So this feels like it's not the be-all, end-all. There may be people who wake up from this and go, wait, what have I stood for? And those people are going to start to make a change towards something else. The other people who go, I'm just going to go along to get along and keep my head down, are going to find that things are not going to turn out the way that they thought they would. And they sort of correspond to the walruses of last year, but I feel like these people are really, really tired, and they're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm just tired. And I totally understand. But that fatigue is going to have to give birth to something more. Otherwise, you're likely to just go down the drain. I'm going to take one more. There is something that is going to emerge that is spiritually profound over the next few years, that is going to allow people to fly higher than they have ever flown before and do the impossible. That's all I'm going to say about that at this time. It came up last year as the ermine, but now it's shaping into something much more interesting. And then I'm going to end with the shrew. There is a let me just put it this way. Never underestimate the ability of the little guy to come out on top, or the one that seemed to be on the bottom turning out to be on the top. Someone or something that was underestimated comes to light, comes to strength, and accomplishes something that no one thought possible. Now, the shrew is a longer term prediction. He's coming out and feeling like he's a longer term prediction, but we may see him start to emerge this year. The presence of the shrew makes us see that don't discount something and think that something can't come around and succeed, even though it seems like he's been forgotten, all is lost. So watch for him. He's the one, he's the underdog. The underdog, or something that people thought was not possible, actually emerges because of the presence of the shrew. And when I see that, I always get a little excited because he's tricky and he has at his access things that people swore were not possible. And there's a good bit of magic to him as well. I'm Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. This is my prediction for year 2 relating to all of this. If you guys would like to manage the dumpster fire, get a hold of it, change things, move towards becoming who you really were destined to be, contact me. I have a lot of things at my disposal. I've got classes. I'm going to put my shop down below where you can buy some classes. I have some mini classes I've started that are very affordable. If you want to get a reading, a Tibetan chart, a crystal mirror, I'm even doing amulets now for people using Tibetan bond magic. If there's something you'd like to bring into being in your world, we can make an amulet. Contact me and we'll let you, and we'll set it up. 77930280009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. Remember, nothing in any of this just happens. In all of this, we have to take control of our lives. And those who feel that someone's going to do it for them, or that they don't have to face responsibility, are going to feel things become more and more challenging until they finally do decide, hey, I'm going to take some control over my life and decide what my fate and what I'm going to be, and am I going to be what I really came here to be.